What's up, you beautiful Redditors? Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. Welcome to the RNEWS morning show. And let's just jump into it. From r/World News. COVID-19 vaccine candidate is 90% effective, says manufacturer. Sorry, but I am not in Iraq. It's a reference to a meme. 43,500 people tested in 6 countries and no safety concerns have been raised. Damn, this is definitely promising news. I'm a tester too, but I had no effects at all. I think I got the placebo. I'm also a trial participant, but I had a bad reaction. I was in bed and couldn't move for 36 hours. By 48 hours post-injection I was fine though. Edit. By couldn't move, I mean I felt too weak, tired, and sick to get out of bed. Symptoms started showing up around 12 hours post-injection. Lasted for 24 hours. Lingered for another 12. By 48 hours post-injection I was back to normal. Even went to the gym. The second dose seemed to produce a more severe reaction than the first. People at the trial office said they have seen people reported more symptoms with the second dose than the first. Yes, the Pfizer that's being done out of Detroit. I have a blood disorder and they think that was why. But I definitely had the most severe reaction they have seen. It was not fun. I remember laying in my bed, miserable, wondering how people would react if everyone felt like this. Thankfully it was just me. But to my fellow Pfizer human guinea pigs, let's continue to voice our support for the vaccine. We need as much people as we can get to take this when it comes out. We need this pandemic to end already. Pending peer review. I hope they are correct. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/News. Kamala Harris makes history as first woman of color elected U.S. Vice President. Yeah, I think first woman and first woman of color would have been a better headline. Other news sources are phrasing it like this and it separates the magnitude a little bit more. Edit. The of color part won't matter once the color of our skin stops subconsciously or consciously affecting the perceptions of the candidate to the electorate. Lol. Once people aren't elected despite their skin color, we can omit that part. And you're delusional if you think that time is now. I think there was a POC VP in history already, but he was male. en.m.wikipedia.org Native American ancestry. Wait, what? Has victory been claimed? Question mark. News outlets are all predicting the win now. Biden apparently has too much of a lead in PA for the remaining votes to change the outcome. I bet Nevada is sad, no one cares about them anymore. I'm still waiting with bated breath to see what Alaska is gonna decide. Till we had a Native American as VP is the 1920s and 30s. Fart. Reminder that she spent her career in CA putting black PPL in jail. Ironic. First woman of color and she's infamous for locking up hundreds of black men for virtually nothing. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/Politics. Fox News cuts away from McEnany press conference. I can't in good countenance continuing showing this. Honestly, well, there's your first mistake right there. These people aren't honest on any level. They're just trying to scoot around the Hatch Act, and this was sadly their best idea to try to do it. Just wait until Biden is in office. The Republicans will try to hold them accountable for every word they say. Oversight and fiscal responsibility will also be back in vogue. Edit. Used poor words for point. Holding accountable is necessary all around. But the Republicans have just echoed and enabled all of the evil crap that Trump has said and done. But we'll have no trouble shifting gears to jump at the first sign of impropriety if Biden is in office. Republicans have not held Trump accountable once in 4 years. In a perfect rules for thee but not for me example. She is a WH press secretary, not the campaign secretary. This is a blatant Hatch Act violation even if she says she is doing it as a personal favor. The Hatch Act is utterly toothless and meaningless at this point. They violated it so many times without any consequences. It might as well be a warning for jaywalking. Their actual journalists and reporters were far more fair and balanced than their editorial staff. Still biased, but not as blatantly. I wouldn't be surprised if Fox is preparing for an exodus of Hannity, Ingraham, Carlson, etc., over to Trump's network post-presidency. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/Politics. Georgia judge throws out Trump campaign lawsuit that produced exactly zero evidence of fraud. The Trump conservative conspiracy subs are straight up pretending that the campaign has all this Evidence that they're just holding and they're going to put it all out of their butt on Monday and win the election. Meanwhile, they keep being asked to show their work and they keep going. Person shrugging on a completely unrelated note. I haven't stopped laughing on the inside since somewhere around Friday afternoon, evening. The four-season thing was really the icing on the cake. It sums up the last 4 years perfectly. Presser in a freaking landscaping lot, next to dildo madness and a crematorium, with Rudy running the show. You couldn't freaking pitch something like this as a screenwriter without being laughed out of the room. But I love it, especially in early November. Less than chef's kiss, greater than. What's the story? Sad thing is that crematorium is probably getting a lot of business because of the Trump campaign's ineptitude with the virus. It should, but even if his legal options are gone, he will continue with the BS well after he is out of office. With the sheer level of crazy for many of his followers, worshippers, I'm afraid we are still going to endure years of these people crying very publicly. When he is finally out of office, he absolutely will lead the cult following for quite some time. This won't be over for a long while. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/World News. Pfizer vaccines funding came from Berlin, not Washington. Danke. Since I earned my reward points by shitposting, it's only fair if I give them away for shitposting too, and that was a really good one. MIT Swibble and Alice. Orna Schaaf. MIT Alice Danke. Some here. Zum Mitnehmen and Bit. Matt Dreyfusisch. It's very common for small biotechs to develop a new drug and then license it to a larger pharma to manufacture, distribute, sell all over the world. The larger companies finance the research with milestone payments to the smaller biotech. And if the smaller biotech comes up with a new drug, then the drug gets mass-produced and distributed by the larger pharma. It is expensive to have a global network of sales reps, let alone manufacturing for anything bigger than a small molecule. In fact, you can consider it outsourced R&D by larger pharma companies. Yes, that was the reason why BioNTech was seeking partnership. But it's not only the cost but also the production capabilities and such. This is how partnership looks like and not what Trump or Pence are thinking. 63% of Turkish voters in Germany voted for Erdogan. There is a reason the way immigration as it is currently done has come under fire. And no, I'm not right-wing or conservative, opposed to many Turkish immigrants and their children. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/Politics. Joe Biden is the first president-elect in U.S. history to include transgender people in his victory speech. I didn't know what to think when he went an entire 5 minutes without telling one single lie. Yeah, now I don't know what to do with my hands. Biden is a politician, so it could be all smoke and mirrors. The thing I keep coming back to though, for 4 years we had a president that didn't even bother to have the pretense of being a good person. He was publicly and wholly a piece of crap. Aggressive, rude, bully, racist, misogynist, obnoxious, dismissive of smart people and experts, blatantly lying constantly, and tens of millions of Americans followed that example. Now our leader at least cares what we think of him, cares that the office means something, cares that people will emulate his behavior. That's an inescapable good. Like Biden always wearing a mask before appearing at the podium. He's modeling good behavior for the nation, and boy is it ever refreshing to see. He also gave love to disabled people, and people of all ethnic backgrounds including Native Americans. This is a president the likes of which we have never seen before. A president that truly embraces all people. And that's where we are going to end today's show. But if you like what you saw, leave a like, and if you want to see more of the RNEWS show, hit that subscribe button. As always, this has been the RNEWS show and I'll see you tomorrow.